my horse was by himself, so I started taking older horses who were retired, needed a safe place to land. Horses are really at risk for landing in the slaughter pipeline if they're older and have no usefulness. So we've given that home to a couple along the way that have spent their last year or 2 here and then passed on. And then so then from there, somebody asked me to take goats for the first time 5 years ago, which was Lucas. Lucas has been here the longest, and I knew nothing about goats at that time, but I fell in love. They're so amazing. And so along with that, I worked in a vet clinic for years as a technician, so I have a lot of veterinary background, so I can do a lot of my own injections and basic care. So when I worked in the vet clinic, I was constantly rescuing cats, and then the goats came, and then in 2021 was when we got asked to take Millie, and Millie's the handicapped girl back there, and so that was my first adventure with a handicapped animal, and she taught me so much. And at that point, we were just 100% self-funded, but I wanted to be able to do more, and the only way to do that was to incorporate and be able to be a nonprofit and ask for help. So in September of 2021, we incorporated, became a nonprofit, and then we've rescued a whole bunch more since then. So we tend to take on the handicapped special needs. You know, Jack came, and Beatrice, and then everybody else has been from neglect cases. We're actually full. We have 45 animals right now. So the farm itself, this farm was originally owned by some people that raised cows and chickens for meat. So you'll see when we go outside that there's, outside my horse barn, there's still a butcher pole standing where they would hang the bodies to drain. So that's still there as a reminder. And then in Bear's little barn, we might not get to see it today. I don't know if I'll be able to get you guys to where you can see it, but there's actually an antique walk-in cooler built in that barn. That barn was their processing shed for the chickens. So when I bought this place, it was a disaster. It was dirty and run down, and they hadn't taken care of it, and so to see it now, we flipped the narrative, right? So instead of being a place where things go to die, or born to die, they get to come here and not, they get to be safe. So that always makes me feel good about what we've done here. So it is what it is.
So we had a vegan, compassionate Thanksgiving dinner here.
Yes.
So what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that there are so many vegans around here. I just learned this week that Fort Wayne is in the top 20 vegan-friendly cities in the country, which is amazing to me. I know. But so I'm thankful for all the people that are willing to have an open mind about it. Farmed animals, especially, don't get the attention or the acknowledgement that their lives can really be traumatic and awful even before they die. So I'm thankful for people that are open to supporting that. I'm thankful for the doctors at Purdue that are starting to change their minds and their mindsets about that and are starting to work with us. I'm thankful I get to do this every day because it's a lot of hard work, but it's when you see the change in an animal that came to you scared and starving and miserable or in pain and not been taken care of, it's just so rewarding to see them just totally change, see their personalities come out. It's just really rewarding. So I'm thankful that I get to do that.
And I missed in the very beginning, can you just tell us again, when did this start getting incorporated, the years?
Oh, yep, we incorporated in September of 2021.
Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Millie was my first handicap rescue. Millie came from a goat dairy in Kentucky. There had been a breeding accident. The things happened and she had a spinal injury in her neck. She lost the ability to stand and use her back legs. Unfortunately, rather than treat that, treatment of steroids for cervical injuries, of course, because of the inflammation, rather than treat it, they wanted to make sure they kept her pregnant. So Millie carried a baby to term and delivered it without being able to walk. And then they kept the baby and got rid of Millie.
Oh, Millie.
So yes. So Millie, Millie's actually waiting for her new custom cart to arrive. This is her old cart. This is her second cart because Millie's really hard on carts. Because she is the most fierce, determined spirit you will ever meet. Nothing stops this girl. So she's broken carts. This one actually now is not big enough, sturdy enough for her. So we've ordered a new custom cart just this week. That will be arriving soon and get Millie back up and going. So she's been here for a little over 2 years now. When we took her to Purdue, when she got here, they confirmed that she did have a cervical injury, but it wasn't operable or treatable by then because it had been almost a year. And she has surpassed all of their expectations. They really thought she would just continue to deteriorate and not be with us long, but she's still trucking along. This is Lucas that I was talking about. Lucas the Wonder Goat. Lucas was my first goat rescue that made me fall in love with goats and want to keep rescuing them. Lucas is 12 years old. And like I said, he does have, so for those of you that might not know, goats are one of those they have 4 stomachs, they're ruminant. And so their rumen gets to be full of air. So this side, this is like a ball. That's air. And then, unfortunately for Lucas, there's a chunk of this over here that is actually a tumor. But like I said, it doesn't stop him. He gets what he wants. He gets lots of cookies, and what he really wants is somebody to scratch his booty. Yes. And then behind us is Miss Beatrice. So, and she may not get up, and I'm not going to make her. Beatrice, we rescued from an old rundown farm in Hartford City. Grandpa died, Dad got COVID, granddaughter was just trying to get everybody somewhere. So we took her. At some point in her life, Beatrice got hit by a car, and they didn't do anything to fix it. So her one hind leg is permanently fused in a bed position, so she essentially is 3-legged. And the other leg is actually fused straight because her body needed that support, so it doesn't fit. But she's our oldest girl. She's 15. So goats normally live to be about 18 to 20, so she's pretty up there in age. So she's kind of a princess now and a bit of a diva. She's pretty much, that's her bed, and she eats breakfast in bed, and that's how she likes it. A rescue. His mom still comes to see him every week or two. Bear, he's 30 years old, so he's an old guy. He broke his leg, his hind leg, 8 years ago. And his mom's paid for 3 surgeries, and he spent 8 months at Purdue, but it did not heal well. So that's what we got. So they've been taking care of him for the last 8 years as best they could. Unfortunately, the barn that they had stopped taking boarders, so they had to find a new place for him. With his special needs, they were really worried about what kind of care he would get anywhere. So Lisa actually reached out to me to see if this was something that we could help them with. They pay all of his expenses so that he's not a burden to the sanctuary, but he does live here with us, and he's the sweetest little boy. He's very well mannered and very opinionated. And so we're happy to give him a safe place to land. This will be his final home, because like I said, he is 30 years old. So ponies can surprise you and live really long time. He may be here a while, but he did need a final place to call home. So we were happy to do that for him. And then our rescues, a few of them are ones that I had prior to really rescuing. Before I learned all the reasons why we don't have that rescue. So my concern with, people want to get backyard chickens and have their own eggs, which I understand, and they are healthier than store-bought eggs. However, the industry that produces those hens, first of all, they ship those chicks in the mail. It is legal to ship them in the mail. Just throw them in a box and mail them. So a lot of them die in the mail. Male chicks, because they sex them because nobody wants roosters, male chicks are ground up the day they're born. So we, even though the hens that you do get may have a good life, there's a price to pay. So we don't really like that either. Obviously, it's better than the egg industry. The egg industry, hens have been bred now and modified to the point where they lay 300 eggs a year. That's almost, basically one almost every day. But the problem is that takes a really big toll on their bodies. Most of them are done by the time they're 18 months to 2 years old, and then in the egg industry, they're slaughtered. Chickens should, in their original state as a game bird, they only lay 12 to 15 eggs a year. So that's a big toll on their body to keep doing that so much. Chickens should live to be 10 to 12 years old. Most chickens die before they're 6 because they get reproductive cancers, infections, liver disease, all of those things that go along with all that stress on their little bodies. So of my original 10 hens that I got in 2016, I have one left. Her name is Alice, and she lives in my bedroom because she's blind. And then even the yellow ones, those are our Buff Orpingtons. Those girls are 5 this year, and of the 6 that I started with, only 3 of them are here still. So we've had heart attacks, we've had liver failure. They have a lot of problems. So they don't live forever, and it's unfortunate because they're really fun. They have the best personalities. They all have special quirks and things. So Lucas, you have to stay in here. From a neglect case in Virginia, there were 115 pigs and 13 goats in this place, and they were all underfed and malnourished and living in horrible conditions. And the only reason that they hadn't been sent to slaughter was because these people's vehicle broke down and couldn't haul them away. So they were rescued in January. Unfortunately, before they got here, the boys and the girls were all in one pen. So here we are. Surprise! We have Todd. He was born 2 weeks ago yesterday. So Todd's pretty special because Todd will never have to worry about anything. He's never going to be at risk. He's never going to be underfed or not have the care he needs. So he gets to be a pretty special boy. and Trudy didn't look pregnant until about 3 weeks before he was born. We thought we were in the clear. We didn't think anybody looked pregnant, and then a couple of weeks before he was born, I noticed her udders looked bigger, and I was like, that's interesting. And then they just kept getting bigger, and then finally she started to look bigger, and so he's so tired.
She looks like a good mother.
She's a wonderful mom. It was an easy delivery. I was there for it. She bounced right up and started cleaning him and talking to him, and she's just been very attentive. And actually, the rest of the herd love him. He has his aunties that he plays with, but one of his aunties, Abigail, when people are here, she tends to get a little rambunctious. So we left them over in the other yard today, so that nobody would be at risk for that, because McKenna can tell you that she headbutts. So yesterday, Todd decided that he really wanted to headbutt the rooster. So that was really entertaining, because the rooster wasn't really gonna put up with that. He was really good. He didn't like overly get aggressive, but it was really funny. It was a standoff for sure. Oh, Todd. Their house here, and then our other flock, they have an outdoor pen there, and they are back here. Falco is our other rooster. He is not a nice rooster.
Oh.
He takes his protecting job very seriously. So that's why he lives separate, because he's a grouch. He's just taking care of his girls, but. So Falco came from Fort Wayne, actually. Somebody rescued him from being somebody's dinner, but then found out they couldn't have roosters. So Falco came here. And he's carry a broom with me to keep him back when I clean, and we respect that about each other, and that's how it works. And then, so the other hens that are in here with him, and we'll go out so you can see the ones outside, they came last year from a place in Michigan. It was a hoarding situation. There were 75 chickens in a garage. So they came to us with two of the dark hens, which you can't even tell anymore, but two of them came almost completely bald with feathers because they had feather picked under so much stress. So several sanctuaries were involved, and we split up the birds. So we got 11 from there. Edna is the one up there on top. And this little girl with the green tag on her leg, her name is, that's Claire. And Claire is, before I put Falco in with them, Claire was like the rooster. She was the boss. So if I'm anywhere in there, she has to come like investigate and make sure what am I doing. So she's very attentive, and she pays attention to what you're doing. And this is actually Trudy and Todd's bedroom at night. We let Todd out during the day, but of course, with him being so small, we do lock him in at night, just to make sure. So we actually live here. We are a live and let live place. So I do live trap occasionally if they get to be too much, and then we relocate them out to the woods, where I do provide them food and water to start with, so that they get their fair shake when they go out. But the other thing we do is we also feed rat birth control. So if you look up there, you'll see a little like hamster feeder that actually has rat birth control in it, and they do. Our numbers aren't good. We had a little bit of a population explosion last year, but this year when the mink happened and we had to take everybody away, the chickens all went inside until I could get this place proofed. The rats left. There's no food. So now that these are more proofed, the rats can't get in and get the chicken food, so our numbers are still way down. So we know that they're going to be around because it's a farm. That's part of farm life, is that you're going to have animals come in. We also just live trapped a raccoon yesterday because I have barn cats, and it was eating the barn cat food. And did you know that raccoons can unscrew lids? I didn't. So I thought I was being clever and putting the cat food in with a screw top, but no, he helped himself. So we did just relocate him yesterday. So you were napping. Look at that droopy lip. Oh, he says I'm sleepy. Were you eating? I'm pretty sure that mine. Well, actually not born. He got an infection through his umbilical cord 2 days after he was born, and it did go into his joints. It's called joint ill. Unfortunately, his went kind of not totally septic, but septic in his bones. It did a lot of damage. We got him at 8 weeks old. He lost his ability to walk at 2 days old, so he basically has never walked. We got him to Purdue. The damage is extensive. His shoulders, his cervical spine, his hips, his stifles, everything is remodeled and gnarly and icky. So there's no fixing it. Purdue actually wanted to euthanize him that day. I said no. That was 1.5 years ago. Worked with our vet. We did several rounds of antibiotics just to make sure the infection was gone. Jack. And then we do monitor any pain issues, of course, as he's grown. Things change, that sort of thing. Because when I first took him in, he weighed 15 pounds. When I weighed him yesterday, he's at 46. So he's big boy. So, but he's our ambassador. He goes to the farmer's market. You'll see him at the farmer's market sometimes. We have done fundraisers in Fort Wayne with Sassy Vegan, who we love, and he lives in the house. He has a bedroom. His room is the dining room, basically, is the corner of the dining room, and then he has a pillow in front of the TV for when he's with me. And his favorite food in the whole world is tater tots.
Oh my!
Does he have a favorite TV show?
No, he doesn't really. He's not big on the TV. He just likes to be with people. So he's very social. And actually, he is our only goat who is not neutered. With everything that went on with him, we just felt like a surgery at that point was pointless, and we didn't know how long he was gonna. We still don't know. With Jack, every day is a blessing. I don't assume he's going to be here 6 months from now. We just take it one day at a time, and we're so grateful that he's still here, and he's still pretty happy, and he's opinionated. He'll yell at me when I'm not doing things the way he wants. So
32.
he hasn't figured it out yet.
You're all so friendly right now.
Oh, no, okay, Trudy.
You are the mom.
Trudy jumped on me.
Who did? Trudy did?
Yeah.
They get pretty crazy. Well, that's why they're over there, because they all do that, and then you can't. They all really get along, except when there's treats involved, and then it's game on. Are you feeding the chickens? Here.
We think so.
Huh?
We think so.
Trudy. Trudy. Oh.
Hi, draw that out. No, I know. Yeah, we can mama.
There you go. Give her. I don't have to feed Daddy.